Good morning, everyone. Morning. So, how are you? Fine, fine. So, you guys are all writing mains or hopeful of mains. How many of you are clearing prelims comfortable with comfortable margin or border, or whoever is not clearing prelims? You can be open, okay? You can just tell me. Comfortable, who are comfortably clearing prelims? You are comfortable. How much you are getting? 99. Okay, nice. And who are in border and hopeful of clearing prelims? Sorry, yeah, for the mains? No one. So who are the Miru? Yes. How much you are getting? EWS? 85. Okay. Okay. You are in border, right? Border. Not an issue. And remaining? Next year. Okay. Okay. Fine. See, this session completely dedicated to the mains program. So how should we go about mains? Okay. And for you, it will be much more beneficial. And for you also, if hopefully you clear prelims, and that will be much more beneficial for you guys also, right? See, it's not about something called as program, right? And you get enrolled in that or not something that. And in a holistic way, how can we approach civil services examination once you are about to clear prelims, right? And it will be useful for 2025 aspirants also. Okay, how do you go about this preparation in general, right? All are anthropology. Everyone is anthropology. Everyone. Which option? Anthro. Mir. Public administration. Fine, fine. Not an issue. Not an issue. Miru. Telugu literature. Nice, nice. Yeah. And I have some friends of Telugu literature also, definitely. So how do we go about it? So you have any specific doubts you can ask? First, initially, let me note down some of the doubts which you ask, then we can go about it. Just ask me some one or two important things which you feel are very important, right? You can ask. Notes making, right? Yeah. Okay, fine. Next. Three-month strategy, right? Okay. Next. Revision of anthropology. Okay. So have you done coaching or did you read the syllabus once? Anthro, right? Of course, Mary. Right, right. Okay, fine. See, I think these are the things which with revision of GS and 3 months, which includes revision of Anthro and GS, current affairs and stuff, right? Notes making of everything also. Even these 3 months are also very important for notes making. Okay. See, how do you go about is first for every, let us talk about optional first, okay? And then we can jump into GS. So anthropology, do you have syllabus with you, syllabus copies with you or syllabus with you, right? You have. So I advise to start with Pele anthropological theories. Okay. First, you should start with anthropological theories. Why, sir? Is your doubt? Because questions might not come like 2 or 3 at the max can come in anthropological theories. But anthropological theories are the central core for anthropology. That theories you can use in other things also. See, there are 4 branches of anthropology, that is sociocultural, linguistic, archaeological anthropology, and biological or physical anthropology, right? So let us consider there is a question properly taken from the marriage or family or kinship. There is a question. You also can include a structuralism thought of family. You can also always include structural functionalism school of thought in something kind of family, right? What did R.C. Brown think about family, right? So what did he think about it? So that perspective you can give. Last time, I think in 2022, there was this is the line of the question. What are the different anthropological approaches to the study of Kula ring? Kula ring. So everyone knows about Kula ring, right? So this is Kula ring. So properly Kula ring it's a substantivist view. And then see, this is an economy perspective of Kula ring that we generally talk about. So who has studied about Kula ring initially? Malinowski. Malinowski studied about colouring in Trobriand Islanders, right? So this is what we generally read. But what are the different anthropological approaches of that? How is classical evolutionism school of thought linked to colouring? How is functionalism related to colouring? Why colouring is there? Because it has been in the some kind of function, some kind of utility. Maybe because of needs, Malinowski's needs. Maybe so. This might be helpful for sustenance of colouring still. What is structural functionalism school of thought of colouring? Because they do a lot of rituals there, because they involve a lot of rituals like magic, some kinds of intimate rituals that happen between specific genders. And also it will be, so these rituals are created because to eliminate the fear, right? So these are the things, because of the why these are present is because of the existing social structure there. This is the view of structural functionalism. Then symbolism of Clifford Geertz' view of symbolic anthropology you can bring in, or Victor Turner's view of symbolic anthropology. Why? There is a symbol, there will be a lot of those, what are these called as beads, etc. These are used as symbols. These are very specific, and this is completely a substantive. Then next, taking the economic view of Colouring, which talks about substantivist way of ring, because substantivism versus formalism, right? Formalist view. They talk of substantivism talks about intricate relations between the tribals, intricate relationships without affecting the objective things. Generally, we talk about money. They talk about relations. So this is a certain view, right? But then what is new evolutionary school of thought influencing colouring? Because new evolutionary school of thought talks about parabolic evolution, something. You can talk about holistic evolution or general evolution in that matter. So, see, I'm just giving you an overview why anthropological theories are very, very important, right? This is why you have to master anthropological theories. Even you are writing this year, first you complete anthropological theories, right? You got it? Next. So, iske baad you can choose any to that matter. One is sociocultural anthropology, linguistic anthropology, archaeological anthropology, and biological anthropology, right? Generally, linguistic anthropology can be completed very fast because it's a very small topic, seventh chapter, that is language, culture, communication, something, right? So you complete it first, so that at least one question is guaranteed in language always, every time. Be it what is that social change, and then language in context of the social context or something. So all these things are there, right? So then you complete linguistic anthropology. You write here the views of Levi Strauss structuralism, and then various linguistic groups also that you can talk about, right? And then come to socio-cultural anthropology. Start with culture, society, structure of society, right? And then family, kinship, until the marriage, until religion, right? Chapter 5, religion, talks about religion. In that also, see, in religion also you can take in various views, right? There is also a symbolic view, there is a functionalistic view, there is a psychological view of evolution, classical evolutionism. See, any theory to that matter talks about culture. Okay, how do you study culture? So culture is the prime center for any anthropological theory, right? For example, classical evolutionism, if you take classical evolutionism, how culture is depicted in classical evolutionism. Always, so I'm an anthropologist. Let me consider I'm an anthropologist. Okay, I am going and sitting and seeing something. Let me consider I'm a Clifford Geertz person. Okay, I'm Clifford Geertz. So symbolic anthropologist. I went and saw something called as Balinese cockfights. So I want to study that culture. Why that culture is existing there? Balinese cockfights, right? I went and saw ki, Arey, I have seen here. Or a simple example, let us take. I am Smith and Perry, you know about diffusionism, right? Egyptian school of thought. So as Smith and Perry, I went and saw, that is what he did. So I went and saw Egypt. So occasionally I went, just normally as a tourist, I went to Egypt, right? There I saw pyramids. I then thought, why like this? That is the part of culture, right? Constructing architecture is a part of culture also. And then I'll be seeing, why these are constructed like this. Then I go to my hometown, England. Let us consider. Then I see England. Itna, like England is very developed such things. So these are very primitive structures. Okay, these are very primitive structures. Do you think England could have made these primitive structures first? No. But I've seen some advanced structures in England, advanced structures in Japan. Then I go and visit Japan. Then I saw similar structures in Japan, Japanese pagodas. Right. Then I've gone to some Australia, I've seen some tombs which are similar to Egyptian pyramids. Then I think itna primitive culture, because already they have been advanced. So I consider ki, no, these people are advanced. So I consider prima facie that I want to study culture. Why these are there? Why these pagodas are there? Why these people are existing here? Why they are dressing in such a way? Why similar structures are present? This is my area of study. Because I'm a diffusionist, I will see ki diffusion from the architectures of Egypt, it has been spread to Japanese, it has been spread to some whatever the areas that we talk about. Because I'm a diffusionist. Because if the same way, if the same thing, if I'm a functionalist, my area would be different. If I'm a classical evolutionist, I would thinking how this culture has come here, because people must be having some psychic unity of mankind, right? Australia mein similar structures are there, Japanese pagodas are there, and then Egyptian pyramids are there. Some England mein some other structures are there. As a classical evolutionist, whenever I go to all the four places, I see ki because of psychic unity of mankind, similar structures have developed. If as a definition of school of thought, if I go, say ki the culture traits have been spread from Egypt. Then if I go as a functionalist, like as Malinowski, if I go, I would see ki because they were having some utility, because they were having some needs, might be some people might be having fears. They must have constructed large pyramids to see that. Why the culture is so? This is how you need to read theories. Structuralism, it is present in the minds of people. Yes or no questions. Yes, I want to build a pagoda, or I don't want to build a pagoda. Why I have to build a pagoda? Because it comes from a psychic unity. I mean, it comes from the psychic brain and tells ki yes, he is a very close person of mine. He is not a very close person of mine. Okay, when I go and see, there are certain pagodas, some certain mounds will tell ki, right? Certain mounds are constructed for only certain people. Now I want to study those. Why? Because they are very close person of mine. If my family member dies, I will construct a mound. If my friend dies, I don't really construct a mound. Right? This comes from brain. This comes from brain structure. This is what structuralism school of thought is all about. Got it? For everything, you can apply theories. For example, let us consider nature man spirit complex. NMS complex in paper 2 given by LP Vidyarthi. Right? LP Vidyarthi was inspired from Julian Stewart. Right? Julian Stewart inspired many anthropologists, which includes LP Vidyarthi also. Because of neo-evolutionary school of thought, because of the existing environment, the culture develops. Okay? Similar latitude, similar temperatures. There might be desert somewhere, there might be plain somewhere, there might be something else, some landforms. But all the three lives are completely different. In desert, people might be feeling difficulty in getting water. But water, some rainfall, some other regions might be having a lot of rainfall. Why? Because deserts are formed due to certain environmental features like west coast and then cold ocean currents, then all these things, because there is no rain, etc. Because of that geographical phenomenon, because of the existing environment, that landform has been formed. That is why the culture of that region is like that. Got it? So this is how you have to integrate. If you are writing paper 2 ka answer of LP Vidyarthi National, the Nature Man Spirit Complex, you can also include the concept of Julian Stewart in Nature Man Spirit Complex. Right? This is how you integrate. Okay. So socio-cultural anthropology is done. And then come to next archaeological anthropology, very big thing. So start from biological evolution of man, the cultural factors, biological and cultural factors affecting the evolution of man, 1.4 to then 1.5 primates, and then come to the prehistoric, the fossils, Australopithecines, and all these things. Australopithecus, you have to practice a lot of diagrams, right? There is skull diagrams and then spinal cord, so etc. These things should be well drawn, should be well dedicated, right? Even for this also, you have to Do that. So while reading archaeological anthropology, while reading socio-cultural anthropology, see if something is there in paper 2. If it is not there, okay. Then see archaeological anthropology. There is a lot of chapters from archaeological anthropology from paper 2 also. Like Narmada Man, Shiva Petikas, Rama Petikas, all these things are there. And then ethno-archaeology is also there. And then the proto-history and prehistoric cultures, which includes the Neolithic, Paleolithic, wala, that chapter 1.1 is also there. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 can be combined read with this. Next, biological anthropology, which starts properly if you consider it is genetics. You start with the genetics, and then especially you will be left with tribal anthropology and Indian society, right? So if you are reading thinkers here in anthropological theories, integrate one anthropologist of India every day. Spend 15-20 minutes daily from now and complete each anthropologist. For example, one day when you read classical evolution, you will not find a good person. If you read Julian Stewart, read about LP Vidyarthi. If you read about R.C. Brown, you can read about M.N. Srinivas because he is also belonging to structural functionalism school of thought. And then you can, if you're reading about tribal anthropology, read about, see, you can read about Verrier, Elvin, these anthropology, Heymandorf, these all very prominent anthropologists. When you read tribal anthropology, you need not specifically dedicate a certain day for that and read everything, right? You can open tribal anthropology and you can read that about Heymandorf, other Verrier, Elvin. And if you're reading archaeological anthropology, you can mention about our famous thinkers of DM Majumdar can be used here also. So these things, so this is how you have to cover. And in a society, may that caste system, Purusharthas and all these things are very simple topics that you have to read. Okay. You can also refer to Lakshmi ma'am copies. 2016, I think topper ma'am. She's Karnataka cadre now, rank 60 or something. She got us 360 in anthropology, more than 360. You can refer to her copies. They are really good. Okay, her copies you can refer to. And you can refer for answer writing Lagima Tiwari, my batchmate. She is also from Maharashtra cadre. And you can also refer to her copies. And I don't know for this thing, but we are trying to produce like some toppers. We are also trying to give some material, our own notes on internet for the next year, not for this year in anthropology. So after that, so done. This is how you need to go about anthropology as such. Okay, but how do you value add is a very important thing. One is diagrams. Next page को हम चलते क्या? Yeah. Okay. So this is how you need to go about. For example, value addition में क्या क्या है? Diagrams. See the skull में you can draw something like this, you know. Something like this. No, I just remember how I used to draw diagrams whenever the skull is there, whenever the spinal cord is there. So simply diagrams so that, you know, it will be very helpful for you to fetch those half mark, at least half mark, 1 mark here and there. How many hardly for even in GS also, if you write 20 questions, okay, 20 into half is 10 into 4 papers, 40. Let us consider an essay paper also because of your handwriting, etc. You will get 5 marks extra with good presentation, etc. And then optional may again you get 20 marks extra. Let us consider, okay, on an average. How many you are getting? 65. Around 55 to 50 to 65 marks is the increment when you good presentation give, right? So I don't want to waste your time because this is a very brief talk. That is what I've been told. Do you have any other queries of anthropology, even for next year or whatever it is? For you, especially, you have any queries with regard to anthropology? Any sources that you want to have referred to, right? See, now everywhere topper stocks is there, right? So first I will list them. Apala Mishra ma'am's notes, and then go for P. Nath in physical anthropology, and then Akshat Jain sir, of course, and Vivek Bhasme sir, of course. But these have become a bit redundant now because everyone is reading that, everyone is writing the same thing. That is why marks are reducing in Anthro. When you write more creatively, then only you are getting marks, or else you are getting around 270, 270, 280. For that, you need not take anthropology, right? Even I did the same mistake, but somehow I got 294. But it is not the case. I've done extra value addition also. Other than that, new case studies I've brought in, such things, right? Uh, so this is there, and then Peanut is there. Apala Mishra ma'am's notes. So I did not follow this, but people follow Mandar Patki sir's notes, and yeah. Mm, mm, mm. You can also refer to Ember and Ember for certain things only, especially with regard to archaeological anthropology. You can refer to certain cultures. See, these reference books, how you have to write is for a keyword. For example, there is something called as Neolithic culture. So, what are the probable questions of Neolithic culture? See PYQs. Okay, some question may be Neolithic evolution. Neolithic culture is something something. What is that? What is the question? Famous statement of God and child, I think, right? Neolithic evolution is something, culture is something, some dramatic evolution or something. That was the question, right? Okay, so that could be one question. And then what is a Neolithic culture? What are the features of Neolithic culture? What are the physical features? Who are the species present? That might be the question. So you read Neolithic cultures. What are the other cultures present during the world and during India during Neolithic period? And now see, if you take Ember and Ember and see, there might be some certain cultures which have been mentioned in Ember and Ember. So you can integrate that also. Yeah, it's good because yeah, that is good actually. That is followed, and see, there is nothing examiner. That is what my understanding. Examiner might not think, "Arey, this is introduction, this is body, this is conclusion," right? But it gives a structure to the answer. That is how you start, right? And conclusion may you need not follow it. The creativity, you need not have a lot of creativity in that. For anthropology, you can simply ignore some conclusions and write certain things. These are the some clinical features of Neolithic period, which are termed as evolution in mankind, something on these lines. Okay. For GS, you might consider involving some sustainable development goals, certain things like Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, and then Etra Naryastu Pujyante Ramante Tatra Devata. You can write this in any human issues. I used to conclude with Etra Naryastu Pujyante Ramante Tatra Devata in GS papers. Wherever I see, even be it in GS paper 1, paper 2, or might be GS paper 4 essay, GS paper 4 ethics, and also essay. Wherever I find woman issues or something example on women, I used to write this Etra Naryastu Pujyante Ramante Tatra Devata. Right? I used to write, and it created a good impact. And certain things you can add, but in anthropology, you can definitely write. How? Is I'll tell you. Okay. Let me tell you. There is some topic on brahmachari, right? So the four stages of life that we purusharthas, and then we'll also get Reena rebirth in that chapter, right? So grihastha ashramas, these are ashramas: grihastha ashrama, brahmachari ashrama, and then sannyasa, and then before it is, and then between vanaprastha ashrama is the brahmacharya is also. So you can write about all the anthropological views of thinkers of all these ashramas. In conclusion, so this is how you value add, right? In conclusion, may you can also write anthropological school of thought remaining, sir, with new evolutionism school of thought, or maybe, or with postmodernism school of thought on rise, right? With postmodernism school of thought and rise, the questioning of ashramas, questioning of religion, questioning of God has increased, right? Because rationality, science, all this comes in postmodernism, right? And then because all these concepts are devised by the greatest people who rules, they make rules. That is what the postmodernism talks about. Okay. But so with questioning, with postmodernism on rise, questioning of God, questions of existence of God has been rising, and now the utility, because of neo-Lishnism school of thought also, you can consider this utility of ashramas is getting reduced. Why? There are certain rules of brahmacharyatam. For example, you should not engage with any of the relations with any other opposite gender. But now premarital sexual relations are increasing. Of course, yes. Now, with a lot of liberalism into the play, it is to be right, because women rights, all these things, liberty, choice, so freedom of expression, freedom of life, Article 21, all these are coming. Now it is right. But according to anthropological view, or maybe according to the existing rules, brahmacharya you have to follow certain rules. If you go beyond that, it is wrong according to that, right? Now people are bearing surrogacy, or the surrogacy is there, etc. But these are against to the ancient rules. This thing, right, with increasing so and so, these ashramas are losing importance. Vanaprastha ashrama, and then grass. No one is taking sannyas ashrama these days. Sannyas ashrama is going waste. It is not there. It is losing its relevance. What is this functionalism school of thought? Same classical evolutionism talks about, for example, apply classical evolutionism school of thought here. Now, do you know the principle of Covade? Principle of Covade, right? Now, in Kerala, we are seeing certain articles keep male are enacting the labor pains of female, right? We are seeing in certain areas only. Now, as classical evolutionary school of thought, it talks about, because see, my area of study is whether patriarchy came first, matriarchy came first. Because classical evolutionism talks about how society has evolved over time. That is my prime area of study with regard to the culture. Which culture I am choosing to study, whether the patriarchy or matriarchal norms came before. So as E.B. Taylor, I am now presently I am E.B. Taylor. Now I am coming and seeing ki, okay, he is enacting labor pains. So which is, but present society is patriarchal. In large societies, now present society is patriarchal. Now what I'll consider is, because my school of thought is evolutionism, I primarily consider because at only certain places this Covade principle is there, I consider this has evolved first, because during the course of evolution from matriarchy, the matriarchal society, to it has evolved to patriarchal society. That is why only in some areas now matriarchal practices like Covade is present. This is what I think. Got it? How we have to apply classical evolution school of thought. The same way with functionalism and other things also. So now I have that. So coming to the ashramas, how can you write conclusion is, so now ashramas are losing its importance, but you all remember the famous case of Shabarimala, right? What is the argument that has been used against the liberalism of Shabarimala case? Do you remember that arguments? What are they? There are several arguments, of course. One prime argument which has been used against this is woman, yeah, the purity, impurity, and all the stuff. Because you cannot divide the gender on menstruation practices. That is what people. That is an argument, a very good argument. And then the prime argument against the liberalism, against these arguments, came was the Ayyappa was Naistika Brahmachari there. That is why you should not enter. There is always a famous, there is always a way, there is always a certain rule. Even as a person, me, if I am taking Naistika Brahmachari, I have to follow certain rules. Women of certain age should not come near me, should not enter, should not see me or something. These rules are there. Because I also consider Lord Ayyappa as person, as God, I am giving that living form to him. He should also be, the rule should also be applied to him. So that is why woman should not go and enter. That is the argument which has given. So still, this Brahmachari ashramam can be used as a defense against this. This can be conclusion, good conclusion for anthropology. Right? Got it? Certain things. Even you can include certain current affairs in that. Ashramas. Rina, same thing. Rebirth. Now, Rina, how can you write? So you have to, this is the obligation that you have, the duties you have to Pitru Rina, Matru Rina, parents, God, Bhagavan, Rina, everything is there, right? Now, with increase in old age homes, the responsibility for children, that seeing their elders or maybe parents, is reduced. So your Rina is becoming irrelevant, that you have to do it but you are not doing it. Still these ashramas are still relevant. So this is how you need to conclude. Got it? This is how you need to go. Now let us consider biological evolution and increase in the brain things. Tribal studies, right? Education, there are some tribal situation in India and tribal problems, right? There is 6.2 I think in anthropology, problems of tribals in paper 2, right? There you can write education. What I used to do was, see, this is stupid, this is also sometimes stupidity which I generally certain times do. Okay, I linked biological evolution with the tribal problems. How? So when you don't give education, the tribal as a group, so now presently all the Homo sapiens are having on an average same cranial capacity, and there are a lot of studies that are taking place because of this increase in technology, increase in social media, increase in other deviations. Our brain capacity is going to shrink in coming years, maybe 1 million years, right? Some lakhs of years. Then you can take, because if you don't give education to tribals properly, because other section of the people are increasing, other section of the people are becoming educated. If you don't give the capacity, the training or maybe the teaching to tribals according to the Darwin's evolution or maybe biological evolution or the new evolutionary school of thought of the post Darwinian theories which talked about evolution, right? They say ki tribal brain capacity will get decreased. Such was the interlinking that I have done in the paper. Got it? So this is all about anthropology, because I don't want to go into like lot of nitty-gritties also, because it takes a lot of time. For each and every topic I can tell such things, right? This is how you need to prepare. Writing the exam is altogether a different ball game. Got it? Any doubts in anthropology? Sources itna hi hai, that's all. You can include some other good authors are there. You can also include those. I'm forgetting those names because it's been a lot of time. It's been 2 years. I did not follow them too much, but you can follow. Done with anthro. This is what you have to do. The presentation and etc. we can talk about later sessions, because I'll be coming here only, and even in online also we are planning some sessions. We can take those sessions in. So let us move to gender studies, right? So gender studies, finally, how do you want to go and prepare? And what worked for me is making short notes. How do I make short notes? What are the sources that I followed? Same sources as GS, prelims, and you can use one compilation. I used Mains 365 for current affairs. Mains 365. You know about Mains 365 of Asia, right? So everyone knows about it, right? So I need not specify whatever it is. So give me, you all have mobile phones, right? Sir, is there anything for the papers? I've asked them to give papers. Papers ఏమని చెప్పాను ఒకసారి చెప్పండి సార్. See, let us consider, take some random paper, any paper you want to take, you take. Phone ka, phone open me phone में open करो, open चेंडी and just tell me any question of GS paper 1. Just tell me in any history or art and culture, any random question you pick up. Just one person tell me. You can open any previous year's question, 22, 23, 21, 2013, 14, whatever it is. You can open one paper and just tell me some history or art and culture ka question. GS paper 1 में. Just tell me, yeah, please. See exact question, just tell me. Just read it out. So let us consider this question. Discuss the long-term impacts of India's reliance on groundwater for irrigation, particularly in the context of sustainability and environmental consequences. Right? This is the question. So now why I have chosen this question, I don't know which question you will give me. As for the how many marks for 10, 15 marks, 10 marks. So you have, so this is your UPSC paper. Okay, how do we go about it? Let us see. Discuss the long-term impacts of India's reliance on groundwater for irrigation. Okay, now what I will do is, already I would have prepared, because groundwater, sustainability, these are very important. I would have already prepared in my notes, short notes. How, sir? By seeing Mains 365 or some static material whenever I read about groundwater. Okay, so in that introduction I will write, so this is a question, it will be there. Let us consider this is the thing. Okay, I would, question number 1, let us consider this one. So see, this is a question. So I will write the introduction saying the, thank you. So yeah, so let us consider groundwater. What I will do is, I think, as far as I remember, groundwater India is the highest India is, as a country, is the highest, has the highest usage of groundwater. How much groundwater we are taking, that is completely and clearly present in Mains 365. So I will write that fact. So India as a country is doing so and so, which is the world's topmost, right? So it poses some impact. So you got it, right? First I will tell ki I have a fact. That's a perfect introduction. Done. Next, this is because it's a 10 marker. Discuss the long-term impacts of India's reliance on groundwater for irrigation. Because of irrigation, what are the sustainability and environmental consequences in long term? Is the demand of this question. What I will do is, I will write long-term impacts and చెప్పి నీట్గా ఒక హెడ్డింగ్ పెట్టేసి long-term impacts. 1, it is in the sustainability, because sustainability and environmental, of course, both are almost same. Sustainability matlab it is in sustainable development goals whatever it is there, it is all sustainability only. Okay, especially he is talking about environmental and other sustainable consequences also. I will write on and so consequences, long-term impacts. Environmental impacts groundwater will go degradation, groundwater some pollution. Okay, because of decrease in the groundwater level, what will happen, right? So all these things. Now I might not be able to remember the exact points that I can generate, but I'm telling you this is the structure that you need to follow, right? You got it, right? What are the advantages, so and so, got it? And then yeah, let me complete it, then we can also interact. And then what are the challenges after the consequences? What are the challenges? Maybe loss in the infrastructure. Okay, so lack of political will, that is what generally will, but there are some specific points, because you would have already prepared for this. Groundwater is very important. Establishment of central groundwater authority, some central groundwater board, whatever it is, according to so and so, water is very precious. So any other legalities, maybe Supreme Court judgments that are there in groundwater extraction. Recently any studies that are there about groundwater extraction, that you need to write. And then conclusion, India is committed to achieve all the sustainable development goals by 2030, so and so. So in this aspect, UN some resolution on groundwater, what is it is, if it is there you write, or else you write some other things. If there is something on UN's convention on some groundwater convention, something like that, right? And according to this we have to adhere the guidelines, so that our future generations will not lose out on water. New blue water policy, the new water policy came last year or last before year, when I was reading, there is a new water policy which was there. You can also write it according to new water policy, so and so can be done. Government initiative, Jal Jeevan Mission hai, and then because of this Jal Jeevan Mission also the groundwater has been extracted. MGNREGA works, pollution, other borewell stops, lot of irrigation is increasing, because of lot of increasing the irrigation because of rainwater. It is happening that reduction in the dependence on groundwater, right? Got it, right? So because of that, increase in the irrigation. How do you irrigate? Through groundwater extraction again. But you have to do, but there should be a balance between these two. So you conclude on these lines. This is of you need to write. Got it? So you might ask me, sir, how many facts should I remember? It's a very vast syllabus, right? For everything you cannot remember fact as such. For economy, if you take, for everything you can have a fact, and almost you will get 100 facts. It is impossible to remember, right? But main things. Agriculture is contributing to how much employment, and it has how much employment, it is contributing to how much GDP. Economy. Services sector, manufacturing or industrial sector, how much it is. So these are important. Food processing sector, how many tons, like how much business it is doing, how much economy it is generating. Itna basic facts you need to have. One positive fact or two positive facts and one negative fact. Right? Negative fact matlab to write in for a negative question. For example, there might be question on, is there any other question you want to give me? Any other question? GS paper 2 ka, let us take one GS paper 2 question. Anything related to polity, anything related to anything, any question to that matter. You can also give me one more question. Question number 18. The Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009. Right to Education Act, RTE, remains inadequate in promoting incentive-based system for children's education without generating awareness about the importance of schooling. Analyze. So again, how do you go about it? I'll read the question once again for you. The right of children to free and RTE Act 2009 remains inadequate until now, 2023 hai abhi, for almost 14 years. It is becoming inadequate. It is being inadequate in promoting incentive-based system for children's education without generating awareness about the importance of schooling. Right? What is this incentive-based system for children education? You will get a lot of schemes, right? When you join, for example, Andhra Pradesh has Amavadi before. When you send people to school, you get certain incentives. Right to Education Act talks about what are the responsibilities of the elders, what are the responsibilities of school, how many teachers should be there, what are the incentives that are being provided. Because if you send to school, you will get free bags, certain state government ka schemes hai to implement RTE, right? But why it is inadequate? Because it is not, so the question, demand of the question is, remains inadequate. Why? Why? So that question you need to generate. Introduction. How do you write introduction? Because already this has been given like 2009 RTE Education Act, right? It is very difficult to concentrate what are the facts on this. You can simply write Right to Education Act of 2009 in so and so has been brought by the government of India through a statutory act in giving effect to which fundamental right? Article 21A, right? So that's all. Simple introduction. You don't have facts and there is no proper definition that you can write. You can write GS paper 2 mein, you can write article, you can write fundamental rights, you can read fundamental duties, whatever it is there you can write. Simple introduction. Is it done? Then yeah, you have to tell why it is inadequate. So you must be having certain facts and figures. That is why you have to analyze, but it is very difficult. But how do you write? So then you list out the reasons. Reasons for inadequate performance of Right to Education Act of 2009. So you get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. What government has done to improve or to give the effect of statutory provisions that are there in RTE Act? What Indian government or several state governments have done? Some good examples of state government like Amavadi can be given. Like Andhra Pradesh government has given so and so Amavadi, so for to increase the schooling or for the whatever it is. One. And second point, so increase in the schools, increase in the teachers ratio, teacher-student ratio has been increased. Classrooms, technology, infrastructure has been there. So government has done. What any government schemes are there? Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is there. RUSA, all these things have been integrated and brought into certain things. Midday meal scheme is there to give effect of that. But what are the inadequacies? Even though midday meal scheme is there, lot of corruption was there in midday meal scheme. Quality of food, lot of caste issues in that. Awareness, yeah, of course, that is the thing. Now, education without generating awareness about importance of schooling, that also you have to address. So we are just giving them incentives without generating any awareness. Then how can we generate awareness is the important thing. Do you have any specific innovative ideas or what government is doing in increasing awareness? Some incentives it is giving. Okay. So you have to say, I am giving you the broad structure, how do you want to go about it? And then conclusion. Right to education is a very important and integral part of child's life. Today's children are tomorrow's citizens. That also can be a good, according to the famous quote of Jawaharlal Nehru. I think it is told by Jawaharlal Nehru. If I am wrong, please maaf kar dijiye. I remember it as Jawaharlal Nehru. So and so. Neti Neriti balale repati paurulu, right? So this has been done, and so because this is very important, education plays important role. So the role of family, role of education institutions are becoming very important, and this has to be done to achieve. Is there anything related to education to all in sustainable development goals? 4. So SDG, to realize India's commitment to so and so SDG 4, right to education is very important. There are some existing challenges. Of course, any act will be having challenges, but these steps can be taken to improve the things. Got the question? Any other question? You can give international relations or economy, ethics, anything you can give. Any question you can say. One person can open GS paper 4. So for introduction to be perfect, you should have either a fact. So this general studies paper 1, right? Okay, fine. So this has been done. Now, how introduction can be there? Introduction can be a fact. It can be a current affair. How do you integrate current affair in this? Now let us consider there is a question on what are the different internal security challenges. Is there any question on internal security? Can you give me any question on internal security? 9th question, ma? Winning of hearts and minds. So this year question of prelims, it is an indirect replica of this mains question. Operation Sadbhavana, I think, right? Winning of hearts and minds in terrorism affected areas is an essential step in restoring the trust of the population. Discuss the measures adopted by the government in this respect as part of conflict resolution in Jammu and Kashmir. This has been the same question which has been repeated in this year prelims. That is why you have to follow mains papers also. There has been last year in 2022 particulate matter, some recent environmental guidelines have come in the previous mains question. It has been asked in the prelims. So you have to be very careful about mains papers also. Okay, fine. With this, for this, you can write. So for this question, or this is a good question, or for any internal security question, if it is related to terrorism or something, you can write the recent Resi attack on, or the Vaishno Devi attack that has happened in India recently, has again gave a lot of significance for us, that which shows that a lot of internal security challenges are coming. A lot of terrorist challenges are coming in India, for which compromises internal security of India. This can be a good introduction, right? With this question, how can you write even the same thing? The recent Vaishno Devi attack, you have to modify a bit. Recent Vaishno Devi attack in Jammu and Kashmir region, the state of Jammu and Kashmir, or Ladakh, whatever it is. So has raised several questions on the trust deficit that is present between the government and the public. Something like that. Something like that, right? And then you can then start with why winning hearts and minds, whatever it is very important in increasing the trust between the government or the people, whatever it is. Why it is important? Because trust, what can increasing trust make, or what winning hearts and minds make to the society there is a good demand. And Jammu Kashmir mein whatever they have done, they have constructed schools or maybe whatever, I don't know what is Operation Sadbhavana, because it was in current affairs last year, right? So you write all the things whatever the police or the army, government has done there. What are the schemes that are there? Some Nari schemes related to Nari Shakti, whether they are present, any construction of schools, hospitals, whether construction of cinema theatres, right? Playing national anthem, playing Vande Mataram, some things which are happening there, which also going, and the district collectors and the SPs or the other commissioners who are present might be, if that is the case, if some city is there like Srinagar, if you go, what is the role of army, what is the role of other security agencies like RAW, what is security like IB is doing there to improve the, what are the challenges present in Jammu Kashmir? One, you have to also write challenges. 2 or 3, even though it is not explicitly asked. Even though it is not explicitly asked, you have to write challenges. See, like this, whatever, see, I'll tell you one more thing here. When the question have an explicit part, you have to always write in points. What are the challenges present? If that is the question, you have to write in points. Challenges associated with J&K and terrorism. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points is more than enough for each subheading. 4, 5 points are the max, right? That's the thing you can do. And then, if it is not explicitly asked, and if the question is analyzed or something else, you can write challenges, and you can write 1, 2, 3, 4. What? Terrorism is more an ideological thought rather than something else which is coming from external. Like, be it because of radicalization of, because of religion, be it Hinduism, be it Islam, be it Christianity, whatever it is, you are getting radicalized because of that religion. That might be the cause. That radicalism is happening in youth, especially youth of J&K, because of influence of Pakistan, right? And you can give a good example of current affair, which says ki recently Jaish-e-Mohammed gave warning that we'll blow up Ram Mandir, Ayodhya Ram Mandir. They have given the call that we are going to blow down the Ayodhya Ram Mandir. This also can be introduction. This is why you have to read newspaper. See, for any case, even if you type in ChatGPT, you will get what are the pros, what are the cons, what are the examples. But why, sir, why should I read newspaper? Is because to give such things. So even in the newspaper also, you can see very important things only. Not very, very article. You have in terrorism, you follow a source. For you, especially, I am telling you these 3 months. For terrorism, let us consider you have read a source, be it any institute material or any static source you have read, and you have got after. See now, how to get new current affairs? How to get examples? Right. Here one is there. So with respect to India, yes. See, India sharpens its diplomatic knife to further expose Canada's Khalistanis. This also can be there. You have all these things. In this, you might be having what is this India's Kanishka reply, what is this you see, and then Canada is lots and lots of talking about Canada and India relations. Recently, the issue has come up with respect to the Khalistani, where the Canadian Parliament or maybe the room, they have the Congress. What they have done, they have observed 2 minutes of silence for that Khalistani terrorist, which rises the tensions between Canada and India. Right, here also you can see terrorism, India, Ram Mandir, let us consider threat to Ram Mandir. So if you go, it will also come for 8 days, 9 days, may threat to Ram Mandir. Jaish-e-Mohammed issues warning of potential attack. You can tell me any other topic of GS paper 2 or whatever it is. Let us see what are the news in that. Any other topic? Tell me some random topic. NEET paper. So see, that is more of, now the issue is more of political nature. So I don't want to go into the controversies and political natures. Insurgent tendencies. Separated tendencies. You can also write. Right? Yeah. Sorry, it has been lost. Okay, fine. Right? So separatist tendencies, if you just type it, you will get a lot of things. So this is how you need to incorporate current affairs for every topic. Got it? Right? Even for ethics also, you want to give me some ethics question? So this of the GS paper 3 is also similar lines. We have seen internal security, and then any ethics you want to go about? Any question from ethics? So for these, how do you make notes? Is you refer to Mains 365, you refer to static content and prepare a standard introduction, like one positive introduction, one negative introduction you want to give it, or definition. Where you want to write definition is also very important. For society, if some question is on regionalism, you can start with either current affair or you can start with the definition of regionalism. It's a good introduction to start, right? For everything you need not have facts. It is very difficult to remember facts, and I also did not remember so many facts. But basic facts though we have to remember. You have some question on ethics, or is it fine? Like how to understand the question demand? See, I personally feel because we are well versed with English as a subject, I mean as a language. When you see a lot of questions of previous years, PYQs from 2011, 2012, you automatically try to understand what is the demand of the question. That is the basic thing you have to do, right? And if any other question, I'll tell you what is the demand. Yeah, you can give me. You can just tell me. You can just tell me the question number. Question number. Okay. How could social influence and persuasion? First question. The question is, how could social influence and persuasion contribute to the success of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan? Right? What is the demand for this question? Just tell me. Telugulo. Just translate that question into Telugu. Now we will get it. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan success kosam, success kavali anukunte, social influence persuasion అనేది ఎలా ఈ యొక్క సోషల్ పర్సువేషన్ అండ్ సోషల్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ అండ్ పర్సువేషన్ అనేది స్వచ్ఛ భారత్ అభియాన్ యొక్క సక్సెస్కి ఎలా కంట్రిబ్యూట్ చేస్తుంది? How do you do that? It's a basic thing. It's a basic question, right? So how do you do? So in introduction, I will write what social influence is. I will also write what persuasion is. This is my introduction. And then directly, because it's a 10 marker in ethics, right? All the question carries 10 marks. So I'll start with, okay, fine. Let us consider there is a question, the same question. Now, how do you increase the social influence? If you read social influence and persuasion in your GS paper 4, you will automatically make points for this. How do you do persuasion? There are certain tactics. There are certain principles. Pavlovian principle of social influence and social persuasion is there. There are certain ways. How Mahatma Gandhi did social persuasion. All these things are there. This is how. For example, role models is a kind of social persuasion. If you follow a proper source, in that everything will be mentioned. You have to just reproduce the same thing. So how do you go about it? Like one, role models. I will employ, or maybe I'll ask Shri Amitabh Bachchan ji to come and do cleaning, campaigning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has himself campaigned for Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. True. He also cleaned some beaches. It also sent signal. And next, displaying several models, like for example, choosing Mahatma Gandhi ji's specs also helps us to remember what is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. And 3, funds. How do you do social persuasion? These are the several tactics. Whether you give it to emotional thing, for example, emotional appeals, like having a small drama on how dirty environment, okay, having non-cleanliness at a certain place creates certain impacts. For example, you can also show there is a small dung or maybe open defecation that is going on. At the same time, you can also see, this is a short film that I am choosing. There are certain short films that have been shot for showing Swachh Bharat, and then having Swachh Bharat Abhiyan displayed while movie screening, theaters may. Similar to cancer, you can also do Swachh Bharat. You can also employ logos of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan on various government documents so that it can get ingrained in employees also. Common public, you have ambassadors like PV Sindhu, like Virat Kohli, everyone helping for social persuasion and social influence. But what are the challenges that are present? Illiteracy of the people, going easy nature of people. There are also certain challenges that are being present in your static source. And then conclusion. For ethics, you need not conclude in a very great way, because you will not be having a lot of time to think. Simply, persuasion is very, very important, so and so. It can be helpful in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, so and so. That's it. Philosophical questions in ethics, like for example, quote. Okay. So what is the demand of that quote? See, instead of doing prayers for 1,000 times or whatever it is, you just go and help someone. Manava sevane Madhava seva. You can also start with this quote, right? You should be translating that into English. That's a different thing, right? Or service. So the main demand of the question is you go and do service. You just don't sit and do prayers at home. That is the main demand. How do you address this? How do you structure the answer? Yeah. Start with Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi's concept of service talks about so and so, or else. You can also start with quote of Vivekananda, which says, let the bodies be burnt in service of others. The line of exact quote I forgot, but these are the things. So Swami Vivekananda said so and so, so and so. So Mahatma Gandhi also emphasized so and so. That is the introduction. Then conclusion. Conclusion mein, what are the benefits of doing service to others, a small service to others in spite of doing these prayers? What are the benefits? One, some life could be changed. Example, a doctor does a free surgery. I'm just generating the points now itself, right? A surgeon, even though he is working in a corporate hospital, has done a free surgery to serve for the poorest of the poor person. That could be one example. So recently a surgeon has done so and so. Next, two. What are the other points? You can just tell me. What are the points that you can write? Have you seen any other examples? So you can save a life, you can save a service, you can save time, or his contention or his or her contention would increase. Self-satisfaction could be a point. According to Maslow's needs, self-satisfaction comes so and so. So while you help someone, you get that need to be satisfied. So along these points involving various stakeholders, and every other point you have to generate an example also. Got it? You have to generate an example also for that. And then what is the relevance, contemporary relevance of this quote? Contemporary relevance of this quote is very, very important. COVID-19, India has done service in giving a lot of oxygen equipment, masks, food, etc. to various other things also. So if India is just praying and sitting and praying, it doesn't happen. We went and served. What benefit we got? Our goodwill in world has increased now. Everyone's looking towards India. This is the help. India helped across to various nations during a lot of difficult times, like for example Sri Lankan water crisis, Maldives crisis. Maldivian water crisis has happened. Water was not there. India sent. Operation Neer, right? Right? This is what you have to do. Got it? What is the ancient relevance of that quote? What is the modern relevance of that quote also? During the time where there was a lot of orthodoxy involved, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule and Srimati Savitribai Phule, so these two have worked for emancipation of women through studies. The small help rendered a lot of education to women. Now it has started a trend that now present Indian women are getting. POSH Act, you can give in multiple dimensions, like POSH Act, helping women is a very important component through our law. Right? You can also give example ki Nirbhaya incident has happened in India. India did not sit quietly. They have brought in an act. Okay. Many people have just prayed, have done prayers. What happened? Nothing happens with prayers. You can give example of the prayers which are happening in various temples, temple trusts. Like TTD, you can give an example. You can give example of Gurudwara. You can give example of the Golden Temple of Amritsar, where it serves huge Annadana. It does lots and lots of Annadana. This also can be given as an example. Multiple angles. Think on multiple angles. How do you think? There should be a template. Speech-lit technique. Social, political, economical, international, legal, economical, or maybe environmental, and then science and technological, whatever it is. This is how you have to generate the points. So now, after seeing the question, yes, you see, okay, this is the thing. Next, A, socially. How do you think is sociological perspective mein GS paper 1 mein what are the things are there? Regionalism is there, communalism is there, women issues are there, women organizations. In these points you have to think. So syllabus is very, very important. Political. What are the things are there in political? Constitution is there, social justice is there, and then Panchayat Raj institutions are there. So see the syllabus, see the points in the syllabus, and then write the things. Got it? Even the notes also you have to prepare in the same way. Any doubts? Essay. See, I'm not very good at essay because you have a very good source here, Kalyan sir, to talk about essay. I'm not very good at essay because I did not prepare essay also. That reflected in my marks also. I got only 110. So I'm not correct person to tell about the essay because మనకు వచ్చింది ఒప్పుకోవాలి లేదంటే రాదని ఒప్పుకోవాలి ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి ఎక్స్ట్రా చేసాం అనుకోండి బాగోదు రైట్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ వెరీ గుడ్ అట్ essay to be very frank. Okay, so I should not comment on that. Remaining anything I can talk. Examine, discuss, analyze, these are all very rudimentary things. You write, see if there is a critical analysis, you give equal importance to analysis and also writing challenges, negatives of that. If they are not asking explicitly what is the critical analysis, critically discuss, etc., you just mention like this. Okay, we just draw some line and challenges, write 3 or 4 challenges here and there and write. For every question, form same template. If they ask explicitly in the question, write in the points format. If they don't ask explicitly, write challenges, just government initiative, so and so, in a pictographical way. That's all. There is no much significance for those things. That is what my experience talks about. I don't know others' experience. Yeah. This is how I followed. Any other things? See, revision. If you revise more, you will automatically remember more. And it is easy also, trust me. It is very easy. We have no idea. At least one keyword you will be having idea. At least one keyword, write about that keyword and come. About something on regionalism, so and so is there. You can obviously write about regionalism, what are the challenges of regionalism, etc. You keep that question to the last, but attempt it. Attempt it for half page or 1 page, but do attempt it. Etymology based, that's all. And then mains 65. How do you make short notes? See, if you keep on reading that, just mention only one fact. Economy, for example, let us consider agriculture. Irrespective of anything, you will write itna hai agriculture mein so and so population or dependent on agriculture, it is producing itna percent of GDP. These are the facts that I have learnt about agriculture, proper agriculture. Now with the question, you will tweak. How? The question, let us consider the question is in the positive format. Okay, Indian agriculture is very important and contributing so much so to the Indian economy. My introduction will be agriculture, Indian GDP. So Indian agriculture is employing so and so percent of population and contributing to so and so percent of GDP. That is why Indian agriculture is very important. My introduction. If the question talks about even though Indian agriculture is not performing so and so well, so on these lines the question is there, my introduction will be, just I tweak it. Even though agricultural population is involving some 30% of Indian population, still it is contributing only so and so percentage to Indian GDP, will be my introduction. Same fact, just difference in writing. Be smart in this exam, okay? That's all. This is how you need to remember everything. This is the introduction for a short notes. Short notes mein how will you write is percent of GDP so and so, percent of population so and so, labor force. So that's all. Then points, positive points of Indian agriculture. Indian agriculture, see, for everything there will be a logic to write points. Agriculture, you have forward linkages and backward linkages. For any point you take, production, see, production, farmer produces, distribution, some retailers or whatever it does, and then end consumer. For any economy, for any 3 sectors of the economy, this is the same. For any economy question, you generate points based upon at what level your question has been asked. For example, food production industry is manufacturing sector, right? So production, manufacturing, and then distribution say consumer. Whether it is targeting in which sector, you just see food processing, How do you process it? It comes under industrial or the manufacturing sector. What are the forward linkages? What are the backward linkages? Backward linkages may farmer, producers, agriculture inputs, subsidies, rainfall, geography, other things, whatever the things are you are dealing about it. What are the other forward linkage talks about? Distribution, consumers, and then transportation, etc. can be the points which can be generated through backward links. All the things that can be there. It talks about food processing. You can talk about quality. You can talk about organic farming, which is not there now. The quality standards India talks about, sanitary and phytosanitary standards, which Indians are lacking in SPS. That is why people are having more things, and increase in import duties, export duties, certain countervailing duties, whatever it is you can talk about. Farmers production, there is no proper significant quality that are being produced from the farmer side. Demand is not being met. That's all. 1, 2, 3 points. Agriculture. So when you read about agriculture, you need not make any notes. That is what I tell you. And then how is the agriculture export policy compared to other countries? Right? Inputs may you have Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Right? Anything. So now notes में इतना ही लिखना चाहिए. So you have to write only इंतने रायाले मनो अकड़ा. Okay ना? इंतने रायाला. And then you need not write anything. Agriculture में you have written so. ओका page लोने you have to write percentages, facts. I think there is some channel called as Vivek Singh sir. Vivek Singh by Economy by Vivek Singh. There you can find everything. Right? Every other fact you will be having, and you need not write anything extra other than that. That is how you have to make notes. Any other things you want to ask me? My talk is done. Answer writing skill ఎలా డెవలప్ చేసుకోవాలి? See, answer writing అనేది ఎలాగా మంచి ఆన్సర్ రాస్తారు? First is you should know structure of the answer, and then you revise multiple times. ఇంట్రొడక్షన్ అగ్రికల్చర్ ఈ టాపిక్ వచ్చింది, స్ట్రక్చర్ ఏంటి, సపరేషన్ ఆఫ్ పవర్స్. వాట్ ఐ విల్ రైట్ మాంటెస్క్యూ సపరేషన్ ఆఫ్ పవర్ డెఫినేషన్. ఓకే రాశాను. దాని తర్వాత ఏంటి ఏం అడిగాడు? లెజిస్లేచర్ డిపెండింగ్ అపాన్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ హ్యావింగ్ కంట్రోల్ ఆన్ లెజిస్లేచర్. ఓకే ఇది అయిపోయింది. కంక్లూజన్ నేను రాస్తాను. దిస్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు రివైజ్ 2 to 3 times. Articles. And whenever you see answer writing, whenever you start answer on separation of powers, you will automatically write a good answer. Yeah? Revise it multiple times is the main thing. Got it? Subscribe to a good test series. Have a good mentor. Write. If you are having that deficiency, I was not having any problem in answer writing, so I wrote very less tests. You have to identify your strengths and weaknesses. That's the main thing. My weakness was history. My weakness was not able to remember, not able to have this value addition. So I concentrated only on value addition. I concentrated on examples. I concentrated on revising history multiple times. That's all. Definitions multiple times. Anyhow, I'll be associated with you guys. Anyhow, I'll be coming here sometimes in between. When in online also, we are planning certain sessions. So these sprint answer writing sessions also we are doing. This is generally a brief thing. In sprint, what we do is we go paper wise through PYQs. You will automatically generate. మనము కూర్చొని స్టాలిన్ సినిమా రాసాం కదా పేపర్లో బాహుబలి సినిమా స్టోరీ కూడా రాస్తారు చాలామంది. సో కానీ చాలామందికి చాలా మార్కులు వస్తాయి. సో ఐమ్ నాట్ టెల్లింగ్ యూ టు బ్లఫ్ ఎనీథింగ్, బట్ యూ విల్ ఆటోమేటిక్లీ రైట్ వెన్ ఎవర్ యూ నో ది కీవర్డ్స్, కీ హెడ్డింగ్స్, సీ ఇన్ ది స్టేక్ హోల్డర్స్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్. ఓకే, చెప్పాను కదా ఇప్పుడు అగ్రికల్చర్లో పాయింట్స్ ఎలా రాస్తామంటే యూ జస్ట్ నీడ్ టు థింక్ అబౌట్ ఫార్వర్డ్ అండ్ బ్యాక్వర్డ్ లింకేజెస్ అండ్ స్టేక్ హోల్డర్స్ ఇన్వాల్వ్. ఫార్మర్స్ ఇన్వాల్వ్ అయి ఉన్నారు, మధ్యలో ఫుడ్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ రీటైలర్స్ ఇన్వాల్వ్ అయి ఉన్నారు. దాని తర్వాత ఇన్పుట్స్లో ఏమేమి ఉన్నాయి, అగ్రికల్చర్ ఉంది. సో అగ్రికల్చర్లో ఏమేమి ఉంది, జాగ్రఫీ ఉంది, ఇన్పుట్ సబ్సిడీస్ ఉన్నాయి, గవర్నమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, అండ్ గవర్నమెంట్ స్కీమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ప్రధానమంత్రి ఫసల్ బీమా యోజన లాగా ఉన్నాయి, బ్యాంక్స్ ఉన్నాయి, లోన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఇవన్నీ ఇన్పుట్స్. యూ జనరేటెడ్ 5-6 points on that. ఇట్స్ వెరీ సింపుల్ థింగ్. మీరు కొట్టిన తర్వాత ఎన్నని చెప్తారు సార్ అని మీరు అనుకోవచ్చు. కాకపోతే దట్స్ ద రియాలిటీ. ఆ రియాలిటీగా చెప్పట్లే ఎవరు బయటికి. అక్కడ అది ఎవరు చెప్పకుండా లక్షలు వసూలు చేస్తున్నారు అనమాట. దిస్ ఈజ్ హౌ ద రియాలిటీ ఈస్. ఓకే, దిస్ ఎగ్జామ్ ఈజ్ వెరీ సింపుల్. This exam, if you treat it as a board exam and prepare, it's a very simple exam. If you are having that hype in your mind, it is not going to help you. Got it? Shall we take off?